We've got a great awareness with our trucks, and we knew that if anything happened, we want to get our people out and keep them safe.
So what's with the camera? You gonna take my picture?
I would love to take.
Oh my God! Okay, I'm ready for my close-up now, Melanie. Let me put my sunglasses on. Oh, I left them someplace. Okay.
Well, anyhow, but you hiking out, you must have been very scared yourself.
I just ran like hell.
Yeah.
I had my hiking shoes on, and I was in good shape that day. And I'm not exactly in the greatest shape. I mean, I'm like 210, but it was all downhill.
But still, you know that when there's a fire and you're smelling smoke and feeling embers hitting your body, you know to get out.
Oh, I knew I was in big trouble.
One of the problems that we encountered is people didn't want to leave their homes, they didn't want to leave their pets, and we understand that, and we will do everything we possibly can to, if you can't get back into the area, we will get your pets for you. Animal control with the sheriff's office comes in, and they will absolutely help get your pets out. You can call the non-emergency number, they take your information, and they send officers up to get the pets.
I'm telling you, I was on a trail, and I wasn't, excuse my language, I wasn't stopping for shit. I was like running. It was like people shooting at me.
Yeah.
And that's how I kind of felt about it, and I didn't run until I got all the way down to the bottom of Sunshine Canyon. I thought, okay, now I'll have a drink of water.
Right, and you don't stop.
And you guys were going the other way.
Well, and one of the things is that our people will work as hard as they possibly can for as many long hours, and you've probably seen a lot of exhausted faces around here this week, and people they will come and they will do what they can. And also, the outpouring that I've seen within the community is really strong. The Elks Club has opened their doors to people, the firefighters coming in that maybe arrive at an off hour. They can get a shower there and a meal and a place to sleep. So the Elks Club has been really instrumental in.
And they have a lot of beer over there, don't they?
They do have a bar there, but I have to
no drinking.
The firefighters won't drink.
No, not when you're on a fire.
I'm not aware of anyone that will.
Makes sense. I'd be, but then again, I'm the person who ran down the hill.
So, and also I have a list of donations places if you want to air that.
Let's do it. Read them for us.
Well, they're taking major donations at 3111 28th Street. That's 3111 28th Street, where they're taking all sorts of things except perishable food items.
Okay.
So anything. A lot of clothing, kids' items have gone in there. They will take new and gently used but clean items. And these will be donated to the people that have lost everything.
All donations.
And also there's a Victims Assistance Center, the Red Cross, and then you can also the websites for information if you need it.
Okay. Well, very good, and we've been putting it up all day too. Thanks, Melanie.
Okay,
great. Good job. All right, see you later. Wow. So this is we're talking to firefighters, and there's a whole bunch of them here today too. I'll just give you a big pan shot here. Look down. We'll just take one big shot of everybody. Look at everybody. There's a whole ton of people over here. All right, who's next? Look at them. So these guys all came off the mountain. They're willing to talk to people. Look at there's a shirt right there for you. Boulder Fire Rescue. All right. What's that now? We'll see who is anybody else here want to talk? How are we doing on this? Did you want to talk with us? Hey, how are you?
Good.
We
talked once before.
Oh, is that right? Where? Right here?
Not on this fire. It was something completely different.
So let's just come on right back here, and we'll talk right now. Here you go, Donna. You want to run this for us? Right. Okay. So we did talk before. This is Mike McNamara, captain for Boulder Rural Fire Department, huh? What the heck did we talk about the last time?
I'm
getting old. My mind doesn't work anymore.
It wasn't even fire related. This was 10 years ago. We talked about another subject.
Another subject. Okay, fine. We won't talk about that today because I have a feeling it's going to probably be embarrassing for me. Was I in handcuffs?
No. You were okay. You were okay.
All right. So what's the deal? How were you involved in this fire? You're a captain, so were you on this thing right away?
I was on duty for Boulder Rural doing a regular engine company shift. I do operations for Boulder Rural Fire Department.
Yeah.
We were toned out. We're part of what's called the Boulder Wildland Group, and it's a group consisting of Boulder Fire, Longmont Fire, Boulder Mountain Fire, Boulder Rural, and there's a couple other agencies as well, and they meet here monthly and discuss just this very thing. We prepare ourselves for these kind of events and even smaller events and trainings and things like that. And so on the initial tone out, it was for the Boulder Wildfire Group, and we send what we call a Type 6 engine, which is a small four-wheel drive engine with 3 firefighters, and they initially went up to, the request was for up in Fourmile Canyon. They went up to the seat of the fire.
Right.
After that, we put together another Type 6 engine, a Type 1 engine, which is the ones used for structure fire,
yep.
a water tender, and a chief's vehicle. And we went up to our district, which is the Poor Man, Lower Sunshine, Seven Hills area.
Yep.
And we were up there and we were triaging structures. We were looking at things that we might do to help if the fire did get that far. We were doing things that would help prepare those houses that they wouldn't get taken.
Right.
We were moving away wood piles. A lot of patio furniture was thrown down below the house.
Wow.
I'm sure we'll get some calls on that.
Yeah.
So we were surveying and keeping an eye on the fire from there. When we noticed some erratic fire behavior further up Sunshine Canyon, we looked uphill, and I told my chief, I said, that's where our concern's going to be. And about the same time on the radio, we heard somebody who was, I think, acting as a lookout for the Sunshine Fire Department. He was up in the area of 5,000 Sunshine,
yeah.
and he said it's on its way, and you could hear it in his voice that this was the real thing, the real deal up there. We moved our little task force out of the Poor Man subdivision. They were not in imminent danger at that point, and we went up the hill to Bald Mountain, which is somewhere around the
right.
4,000 to 5,000 block of Sunshine Canyon, and we were confronted with, I guess it was described as hell on earth. There was at the same time as there was a huge fire front. It was wind-driven. It was erratic. There was already a couple of structures burning at the time. It was a hasty fire attack, and we had to choose. At that point in time, we chose targets that were either not on fire or already, or things that looked like they could be saved. The structures that were on fire, there was a couple of garages or outbuildings on fire, and some smaller old barns and things like that. I think there was a historical barn up there that has been up there for years. It was quite picturesque, but that was
gone.
Well, that one when we first arrived, that one was far from the fire, but we heard that the next night that one was gone. So it was a lot of fire activity.
Now when you're there, because you're pretty relaxed right now, we're just kind of joking a little bit. So what's your demeanor when you're in a situation like that? Like what is your demeanor?
My demeanor is, where's the rest of the help? Sure would be nice to have 2 or 3 more engines here. I was amped up. I've been doing this for 30 years in Boulder County. I was at the Black Tiger Fire and everything in between. And so this was most reminiscent of the Black Tiger Fire for its intensity and unpredictability. And
it moved fast. Black Tiger Fire moved really fast, didn't it?
Oh, it did, and this did as well. We by the time we got up there, after that first report that it was coming that way, it was there. And
I covered the Black Tiger Fire on radio and TV, and then this one here too. We were on internet television, but we did it. I mean, like right then. I came off the mountain and we went right to work on it. We were monitoring. Well, the only channels we monitored was Green, Red 1, and your main fire. But I heard your guys up on Sunshine saying this thing's crossing the road. I'm like, uh-oh.
Yeah, you'd like to think that 45 feet of asphalt with some gravel on either side is a pretty decent fire break, but it's just a skip for a fire of that intensity. It's nothing at all, and that's not to say it. That's just the stuff moving through the ground. If you've got a ground fire with 3 or 4 foot high flame lengths, when the wind drives it, you can get those things 20, 30 feet across. So even a ground fire could skip across the road, but this thing was in some of the trees right above Bald Mountain.
Does it feel like it's alive? Does it make noise?
Oh yeah, they talk about freight trains and noises like that. You can definitely hear it and perceived or real. There is a noise up there, and then we were sitting up there. Some propane tanks went off, and I'll tell you what, when that happens, that can humble anybody. That's an amazing sound when propane tanks go
ground shaking.
Oh yeah, and just a whistle. Take your teapot and multiply it by several thousand, and you know what you're in. And then have it happen on the left of you, the right of you. Down in the Sunshine area, the old town side of Sunshine, when we went down there for more fuel, there was 2 or 3 of them going off all at the same time, and that's pretty.
Was there ever a point that you were afraid for your life, where you're going to have to back out, get out, or Storm King Mountain kind of thing, where this is it's trapping us?
Probably not so much, because we knew we had just come up what would be our exit out of the fire. So we knew that if we turned around and went behind us, there really wasn't enough fire activity behind us. So we knew that was always fairly safe. If we got further up into it at that time, then I would be, because we'd have to cross some unburned, and we'd have to cross some areas that could burn behind us.
Early on, nobody was telling us about houses burning, but obviously they were burning right away.
We had heard that I think we had heard that down in the left-hand canyon where the fire started, we had heard that there were some structures burning. When we were doing our triage in the poor man area, the way you could tell was you see, the smoke is light gray, it's white, and all of a sudden you see a big plume of something that's a very freakish brown color, rust brown, getting into black. There's nothing up there but man-made materials that can cause that. So, yeah, and you could see it. It's kind of ominous. You could see it in several different areas up the hillside. You started seeing it popping up through the white smoke, the gray smoke that was already blowing.
It's dehydrating. You have to drink a lot of water on this kind of situation.
Oh yeah, always. And you try and prehydrate. We always try and prehydrate here, but that's the biggest thing that we need. We need to constantly watch out for that. And as a supervisor, I need to watch my crews to make sure everybody's drinking water. But sometimes you're just in awe. You're working so hard that you don't feel like you have a break.
Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
I appreciate you coming by, talking to Boulder and talking to the world. Okay.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
All right.
Here you go, Donna. I'm going to let you do a commentary now. Just step right in front of it. I'll get somebody. Look, stand behind the camera.
I want to be in front of the camera. You see in front of us, Jan just finished with Captain from the Rural Fire Department. You see all around we have a whole bunch of these firefighters, some who have been on this since day number 1. And they are, they're out here and here comes one now with Jan. So here we go again.
Here you go. Donna,
Why don't you go right ahead?
I'll let you do it. Go ahead. You're good.
Because we're right there in the shadow.
No, we're going to do this right here.
Okay,
right
we're doing it right here.
Hello, Donna. My name's Paul Mundinger. I'll give you the whole spell on it if you want.
Okay.
Very good, Donna.
You're on.
All right.
Okay, you are with
Boulder Mountain Fire Protection
This
District.
way, Donna, so he's looking at the camera.
I know about this. I'm the one who told you about it, Jan.
Right over here.
Oh, you
Why
want
don't
me
you
right?
stand
Yeah,
right
there
here?
you go.
There. Okay,
It's
very
called
good.
over the shoulder.
And
Understood.
Look this way. There
Okay.
you go.
Very
You can
good.
just look at me and you'll be on
Okay.
the air. Okay. What was the toughest thing about this, and what's your experience? What's your experience level?
So I'm in my 9th year of volunteering with the department. I live up in Pine Brook Hills, which is what part of Boulder Mountain Fire's protection district. And I'm primarily I'm the communications officer. I'm an engineer on several of our apparatus. I'm on the wildland. There's a group that's works on wildland items. My initial role, I got back late Monday night, coming in from being on Labor Day. So we had the privilege of listening to this for 4 hours driving back home. So about 7:30 is when we got home, and immediately went up, got through the police checkpoints because they had that, all the areas were being evacuated, and then went and did lookout duty that night. So I spent the first night till about 8 o'clock Tuesday morning at a location overlooking Sunshine with another member of the department, and we had a truck with us. And our job was basically, there's homes that we've identified that we know we have good lookouts into the district, understand where the fire's going, report anything that people may not be seeing.
Mm-hmm.
So we're sort of two sets of eyes watching what's going on and reporting any unusual behavior.
It's a huge responsibility too, because they're relying upon you, aren't they?
Yeah, we're also relying on the teams in the field to do what they're doing. So it is, there is no I in this entire thing. It is all team effort. There's a lot of good cooperation amongst all the departments in responding. Obviously we're on the sort of on the eastern fringe where the fire was, but we're looking back into an area that people could be working in one section of the fire and not see something that may be going on 400 yards to their left. When we're looking right at it, we can call it in and say, just be aware that X, Y, or Z is happening. So I think we feel good about that because you're obviously playing an active role, doing something that people may not traditionally think of. Oh, you're not on the line, cutting line or doing this, that, or the other thing, but you've got a positive impact on other members of the team.
In your 9 years up there, how do you evaluate this particular incident?
Obviously, it's a large amount of territory. We had the Old Stage fire a year and a half ago. Obviously, a smaller amount of acreage burned. but still it's a very serious fire. When you're talking several thousand acres of fire, obviously a lot of people's homes and lives are impacted, beyond the scope that I can personally imagine.